to be present over here and speak to you all. Vandana ji is a great motivator. From nothing to speak, she asked me to speak for 40 minutes. Then here I came to know that I have to speak for 20 minutes. So don't look at your watches. I have got a PPT prepared, but the PPT, the initial parts, they talk about the philosophy, and the latter parts, they talk about the contents. So we are going to skip the latter parts mostly, because they talk about the basic issue that what is to be covered in this theme. The summit, this is the last session, and you have got almost all the requisite inputs for having your future course of action. The theme which was chosen for this particular session is importance of finance and tax literacy in various streams of education. Basic questions which come to our mind. What does it mean? For whom? Already your topic tells us, for all streams. Even the person is not in a stream, they all should know the basics of finance and tax. At least, need not to be an expert, but elementary things, they can be understood and they can be learnt also. Why? Right now we are speaking about it because of NEP. NEP has given us lots of reasons. Because of that we have to go for it. Of course, the history in our country starts in 2016 and later on in 2017. Why I am talking about 2016? Because the Ministry of Education has gone for the Swayam portal, and the Swayam courses, they have come up. Around 3,000 courses, they have been developed and they are on offer. edX and Coursera, it has also come up during our Corona disaster. And in our own country, this particular Swayam portal, it has also attracted this. It has not been extended to other cities. And what the contents, suggested contents, I have put it before all of you in my subsequent slides. This is the focus of this institute: One India, One Education, One Profession, One World. And just I was referring capsule courses in IITs and NITs. I was also fortunate to be associated with BHU, where I was being asked to go for this one capsule course in accounting and finance for the IIT students. So that is why I do feel that still it has got the relevance, and that gives us a clue that how this multidisciplinary focus of the national education policy can give us good results. What the national education policy tells us, and that gives you the reasoning why we should go for this finance and taxation issues to be known, to be learned by all, not to only commerce students. Holistic. Gone are the days when segregation of the knowledge is being made. Now we have to synthesize, we have to aggregate also. Even in case of management programs also. Earlier we do have the core courses, the functional courses, the specialization courses, and finally the integration courses. Now everything is to be integrated. That is what the national education policy is talking about. So holistic, multidisciplinary. It also tells us that a science student can study this finance and taxation. BA student can also study finance and taxation. Skilling. You know, National Council for Vocational Education and Training, it has come up recently. And it is a statutory body which is now mapping all the skills. Skills, technical skills, soft skills, even your subjects also, they are also being mapped. At the national level, it is existing. They are looking at our curricula and they are also giving us certification. It is an accredited body to look at the skills, and skills that will be integrated. Then only the people say that our degrees, they will not be called as paper degrees. We have to make them a degree which makes the person employable. That credit accumulation is possible, credit recognition is possible, and we can encash those credits to get the degree. The process is already on. 35 lakh learners registered in this academic bank of credit. Whatsoever they have cleared the examinations, the courses, not about the programs, the course-based learning, the Swayam courses, edX, Coursera, or in our own country, most of the institutions have gone for only one course. Institute can also come forward with that sort of mechanism. Only one small course of 2 credits, one small course of 3 credits may be made available to all the learners. For BSc learners also, for BA learners also, for plus 2 learners also, or maybe the postgraduate learners also. Because we know that these basics, they are essential for all categories of learners. Even who are retired people, they would also like to know the basics. So for that also, this is appropriate. I don't know how much the accreditation process, the academic bank of credit is being used by the institute. But the time has come. 33 lakh learners they were already registered. And the process is going on very fast. Almost all the universities they are going for it. And this tells us, like your financial banks, where the money has been deposited, here your academic, which you cleared, the courses which you passed out, that will be created in that account. What? So many things are there. They are only suggestive. I am not talking about that they are to be added. All the things that will be added. At least a person who is in the field of science, he should not say that I don't know this taxation. What is taxation? I am not supposed to know. Some basics he must know. Of course, the present day environment is such which teaches so many things through our TV, through our discussions, through our newspapers. But still, if a capsule course of 2 credits are there, if a capsule course of 3 credits or 4 credits are there, that is going to serve the purpose. Works also, some contents also which can be used in their future endeavors. National Skill Development Corporation. Again, it is coming up in a big way to reach most of us. Recently, we do have an experimentation with respect to our undergraduate program, wherein the programs are BA Hindi, BA Honours Hindi, BA Honours Urdu, and what we thought about is, in consultation with National Skill Development Corporation, is that 25% of the contents we are going to add as skill components, and 75% they will be related to that basic language. We are experimenting with 4 undergraduate courses, BCom also, 25% skill component, and the skills they are mapped with the National Skill Development Corporation and also the National Council for Vocational Education and Training. Gone are the days when only the pure language course or the pure BCom course based on the contents or the textbooks available. It's not relevant at all. We all study taxation, but none of our BCom student is able to file an income tax return. Even I do remember when we were studying that, we could not even fill the money order form also. We were the graduates in commerce. So that sort of scenario is not relevant when we are looking at the present day education. And National Council for Vocational Education and Training, it is also quantifying the prior learning also. Maybe you might have seen 2 days back there was a titter from the Navy. It talks about the integration of knowledge and skills with the Agniveers. and IGNOU has endeavored with that. What we have done is 50% the academic contents and 50% they are the skill components which the army people they will learn or they have learned during their working period. When they were working, they have got lots of skills. That is the quantification of the prior learning. So these things now they have become the part of our life in our higher education, and they all are to be integrated and they all are to be thought about it. Again, the emphasis is course-based, not program-based. 17 courses cleared? Yes. 17 courses they will be created to the academic bank of credit. Only one course you could not pass out. And what these rules they specify can come up to focus upon certain specific courses rather than talk about the program. Of course, in our country, we are accustomed to look at a program only. 18 courses, 20 courses, 24 courses. And if a student clears 23 courses out of 24 and could not clear the last one, we all feel happy and elevated that the percentage of pass is very, very low. But that should not be the spirit of education. And that is why the course-based learning, the course-based evaluation, and the course-based focus it has come up. Then later on, this national education policy, it has talked about it. How? Again, I will talk about it because it is basically 2 credit course, 4 credit course, 6 credit course, depending upon the target learners to whom you would like to address. Gone are the days when we used to say that accountancy and the finance that will be taught only to the commerce students. Now they have to be taught even to science.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me congratulate the Institute and the Board of Studies of the Institute for organizing this summit. The new national education policy has given a lot of insight into the education path for our country in the coming decades. And there is continuous deliberation and discussions happening between the school education sector, higher education sector, professional education sector, and the job market also. And it is the need of the hour that there should be a seamless integration that needs to happen with the job market and the higher education or the professional bodies and the higher education as well as the school education. At present, all of us worried about the employability of the youth coming out from various professional bodies and higher educational institutions. There is a dealing between the skill set and competencies acquired by the learners from the institutions of our country as well as the market demand or the industry demand that needs to be fulfilled by these graduates. There is a gap. And in turn, higher educational institutions are looking at the school boards or the school education sector for getting proper inputs or the proper persons with aptitude for doing undergraduate courses as well as various professional courses. Of course, the Institute of Chartered Accountants role for the last many years is completely different, and in a way modern professional way of teaching, learning and training or the skilling that is happening in the institute, along with the traditional way of Gurukul system of getting practice under a chartered accountant. The CA Articleship program is one of the best example of skilling of individuals or providing competencies and skill sets required for performing real life scenarios once you complete a course. This is an example for the whole country, and now there is a need for investing into development of skill set at every walks of school education as well as higher education. Professor Nageshwar has already spoken about various aspects of higher education. And in school education, the four major thrust areas on which the NEP recommendations have been given are equity, excellence, accessibility, and inclusivity. These are the four major thrust areas on which the National Education Policy has given vision for a new India. At the time of independence, merely 10 to 20% of our people were literate. Now that scenario has changed, and in fact, recently, India has overtaken Britain and become the fifth largest economy in the world. The country which ruled India for over 200 years were left behind by our Indian economy. It shows the country's progress as well as the growth mindset. From Sarva Shiksha to Samagra Shiksha, the holistic development of the learner, and building competencies and skill set that required for leading a successful adult life. That is the aim of school education. It is the foundation of whole life. Developing right mindset, life skill, ethics and values, empathy, sympathy, sharing, caring, compassion, global outlook, critical thinking and problem solving. All these skill sets have to be developed during the initial years of schooling. So the school education sector is in the threshold of change. The present day rote memory based learning is giving way to competency focused education. Content oriented learning, the school education sector is primarily focusing on developing right skill set and right attitude in the learners. So essentially, 4 or 5 major competencies are essential to lead a successful life in the adulthood. They are the reading literacy, the minimum level of reading, understanding, thinking ability, mathematical literacy, scientific literacy, financial literacy, digital literacy, and ethics and values. These components will help an individual to be happy and successful when they become adult. So financial literacy is one of the core components that needs to be acquired by every learner by the age of 15. The Organization for Economic Development, OECD, they conduct international students assessment. And in the international students assessment, 3 major focus areas that they are assessing are the reading literacy, financial literacy, digital literacy, and scientific literacy and mathematical literacy. These 4 or 5 areas they assess. Primarily they assess the mathematical literacy, scientific literacy, and the reading literacy. In addition to that, financial literacy, digital literacy are also given prominence as of now. A person with these skill sets, coupled with strong ethics and values, will be an asset to the nation and the whole world. In that direction, Central Board of Secondary Education has taken several steps to reform the school education sector. Four major areas in which the CBSE is working are improvement in the quality of teaching learning that is happening in the classroom, from content-oriented teaching learning to competency-focused learning. Instead of assessing or understanding what a person knows to what a person can do after completion of a particular class of learning. So from content to competency, and to achieve this, Ministry of Education, Government of India has recognized the CBSE as the standard setting authority for the central government institutions in school sector. So accordingly, standards have been developed, and against these standards, accreditation process will be followed to measure the level of each institution affiliated to the board. Similar exercise is being also followed at the state government level. The state school standard setting authorities are being established all across the country for maintaining the quality of the schools in the states. So all these measures will bring a lot of change to the school sector, and to accelerate these changes, collaboration between professional bodies, school education boards, school education department, universities are very essential. And this is the right time to initiate this dialogue and discussion. This is the time the NCERT, the country's leading research body, is formulating the National Curriculum Framework for Secondary School Education, as well as they are coming out with the new textbooks. So a collaboration between the higher educational institutions and professional bodies, as well as the NCERT and the school boards, will help us to formulate a policy that can help to bring innovative changes in the teaching learning or the curriculum development that is happening on the basis of the new curriculum framework as well as the new national education policy. This is the right time to initiate this process. Similar, reforming its assessment. The assessment of learning that is happening at the end of the course is also shifting from content-based assessment to competency-focused assessment. In addition to that, for making this huge transformation, capacity building of teachers are required. To bring experiential learning, joyful learning, art-integrated learning, sports-integrated learning, multidisciplinary approach, integrated learning, you need to build the capacity of the teachers to make these changes happen.